Tyler Reed's flashlight flickered as he stepped deeper into the basement of St. Catherine's Orphanage, long abandoned since its sudden closure in 1982. Rumors said 127 children and 18 staff vanished overnight. No bodies, no trace. Just a cryptic gas leak report and sealed-off doors. Most dismissed it as urban legend. But Tyler wasn't here for ghost stories. He was documenting the forgotten building for his blog, until his crowbar struck something strange behind a loose brick in the east wing. A hollow echo. He pried harder, and the wall gave way. Behind it, a hidden room. Rusted metal beds with leather restraints. Filing cabinets stuffed with psychiatric records. Names of children, stamped across many, processed. And on the floor, a single Polaroid, scratched into concrete beneath it. They told us we were sick. We weren't. Help us. Tyler's hand shook. He snapped photos and fled, racing to the sheriff's office. Deputy Sarah Manning's expression turned pale as she flipped through the evidence. This wasn't an urban legend anymore. It was something much darker. And Tyler? He had just uncovered a secret that was never meant to be found. Sarah Manning was sorting through minor incident reports when Tyler Reed burst into the Havenwood Sheriff's Station, clutching a manila folder like his life depended on it. His flannel shirt was damp with sweat, eyes wide and wild. Havenwood was usually quiet. Bar fights, stolen mailboxes, maybe a missing cat. But something about Tyler's face made Sarah pause. "I was at St. Catherine's last night," he said, breath catching. "I found something. Something bad." St. Catherine's. The name alone made Sarah's pen stop. The orphanage had been boarded up since 1982, when 127 children and 18 staff supposedly vanished during a gas leak evacuation. But there were no relocation records. No names. No trace. Tyler laid out Polaroids across the counter. A hidden concrete room behind a false wall in the basement. Metal beds with restraints. Filing cabinets overflowing. A photo of carved concrete read, "They told us we were sick. We weren't. Help us." Below it, names etched deep, Emma. Jacob. Lily. Sergeant Miller leaned over, his face pale. "What is this?" Tyler handed over 3 age documents. A 1981 intake form for a 7-year-old girl labeled severe developmental delays, with a handwritten correction, normal child. Transferred for bed space. A 1982 transfer order listing 23 kids sent to a specialized facility. A child log. Some marked transferred. Others process. Final note. God forgive us. These babies never deserve this. Sarah stood slowly. "Where's this room?" "Basement. East wing," Tyler said. The wall looked newer. I pried it open. "Get in the car," Sarah ordered. The drive took 20 minutes, winding through back roads. Tyler sat silently beside her, folder on his lap. Sarah asked, "Why explore that place?" "Old buildings have stories," he replied. I guess I wanted to hear one before it disappeared. The orphanage loomed ahead, ivy crawling over its brick like scars. Inside, the air was thick with mold and rot. Children's drawings still clung to the bulletin board. Faded rainbows and stick figures, frozen in time. Down in the basement, Tyler led her to the wall. The moor was clearly different, freshly patched decades ago. A hole gaped open, leading to a room that shouldn't exist. Sarah stepped inside. Rusty beds, restraints, filing cabinets stacked with files. The carved message on the wall burned into her mind. We weren't sick. Tyler opened a folder. Angela Whitman, age 6. Initially marked healthy. 3 weeks later, severe behavior issues. Isolation required. Handwritten. Resistant to sedation. Transfer to Ward C. Another file. David Coleman, 8. Photo of his bed. Restraints in place. Scratched into the wall. Mama, help me. Sarah flipped through death certificates. 7 children. All signed by the same doctor. All vague. Cardiac arrest, respiratory failure. Notes added. Disposal complete. No family notified. Her voice cracked. They weren't sick. They were murdered. Tyler nodded. And buried by the system. Sarah's radio buzzed. Manning, where are you? Miller's voice. Following a lead, she replied. Back soon. There's more, Tyler said quietly. There's a maternity ward. The locked drawer screeched as Tyler forced it open. Inside, a birth record from 1982. Healthy boy, 6 pounds, 4 ounces. Marked deceased after 3 days. Cause heart defect. Handwritten note, mother informed. Transfer complete. Facility 7. Sarah's hands shook. They told the mother her baby died and sold him. A final document confirmed it. 43 babies born in 15 months. 37 marked deceased. But internal memos revealed the truth. All but few were sent to unregistered facilities. Bought. Sold. Gone. She stared at Tyler. This isn't a story anymore. It's a crime scene. Sarah's flashlight flickered as she snapped photos of maternity files, each one a stolen life. One photo, patient M47, showed a young mother smiling down at her newborn. The baby was marked deceased 3 days later. There's correspondence, Tyler said, holding out a folder. Inside were letters from 1982, one offering $5,000 per healthy infant to research facilities, with documentation erasure guaranteed. Sarah's stomach turned. They sold babies for experiments. Suddenly, footsteps echoed overhead. Slow, deliberate. Sarah froze, hand on her Glock. Someone's here, Tyler whispered. She called out, Deputy Sheriff Manning. Identify yourself. Silence. Then slam. The basement door shut, lock clicking into place. We're trapped, Tyler said, his voice shaky. Sarah's radio hissed static. Signal blocked by the concrete. She scanned the basement. We'll find another way out. Tyler pointed to a rusted grate in the old laundry room. Storm drain, maybe. They pried it open, revealing a narrow tunnel reeking of stagnant water. Sarah crawled in first, Tyler behind her with the files. 5 minutes later, gray daylight filtered through another grate beneath a rusted jungle gym. They emerged, soaked and muddy. Manning! Sergeant Miller rushed over with 2 deputies. Sarah quickly briefed him. The hidden room, the files, the intruder. Miller's jaw tightened. This is bigger than abuse. It's a conspiracy. Murder. Child trafficking. Sarah opened a maternity report and pointed to the signature. Who's Margaret Walsh? Runs the church food bank. Sweet old lady, Miller said. In her 70s. Sarah's expression hardened. She signed off on these transfers. I'm talking to her. Miller hesitated. Let the state police take it. Give me 24 hours, Sarah said. If word gets out, Walsh disappears. At Margaret Walsh's tidy home, the air smelled like lemon polish and roses. She answered the door with a warm smile. Deputy Manning, what a surprise. Inside, everything screamed normal. Floral couches, crochet doilies, family photos. Over tea, Sarah asked, Tell me about your time at St. Catherine's. A blessing, Walsh said. We helped so many children. Sarah kept her voice steady. The maternity ward in 1982? Walsh paused mid-pour. No such thing. Budget cuts. I have files, Sarah said. Babies marked dead but sent to facility 7. Walsh's face drained. You don't understand. Those mothers were poor, alone. We gave those babies better lives. You sold them, Sarah said, to research labs. Walsh stood, trembling. This conversation's over. Please leave. I'll be back with a warrant, Sarah said, heading to the door. Where's Facility 7? Walsh whispered. Some things are better buried. Back in her cruiser, Sarah called Miller. She knows. She's scared. We need to find Dr. Marcus Thornfield. He signed every death certificate. An hour later, they knocked on a retirement home door. Dr. Thornfield, now 83, opened it slowly. His eyes were tired. I've been waiting for this. Inside, photos of smiling kids lined the mantel. My real patients, he said. Then quietly, I falsified 37 death certificates. Healthy babies, all stolen. Why? Sarah asked. Margaret brought in outside funding. Labs paid top dollar for infants with no families. I didn't stop it. I was a coward. Where's Facility 7? Thornfield hesitated. It's not a building. It's a program. They scattered the kids. Drug trials, isolation studies, psychological experiments. He handed Sarah an envelope. Inside, transfer logs, facility codes, and an organizational chart. Some of these places still exist, he said. Then Sarah's radio crackled. Manning, Walsh is dead. Apparent suicide. She felt the ground shift beneath her. Thornfield's next. Walsh's home was now a crime scene. Sarah arrived to find Detective Burke examining the body. Walsh sat slumped in her favorite chair, revolver in hand, right hand. She was left-handed. Burke said, "And the tease that you saw earlier? Gone." "A staged suicide," Sarah said. "Someone had tea with her, then killed her." Burke nodded grimly. Note was pre-written. Handwriting's off. Sarah handed him Thornfield's documents. This isn't just Walsh. It's a network. Her phone buzzed, block number. "Stop digging or you're next." Then, over the radio, "Fire at Sunset Manor. 1 fatality." Thornfield. Sarah closed her eyes, rage rising. 2 witnesses gone in hours. And whoever was behind it, still watching. The sheriff's office was a disaster zone. File cabinets overturned, drawers ripped open. The evidence locker pried clean. They took the St. Catherine's files, Miller growled. Sarah spotted a single document on the floor, a transfer slip. Patient M47, Pine Valley Research Institute. February 1982. She flipped through Thornfield's charts. Pine Valley, shut down in 1995, relocated, not terminated. Her radio crackled. Suspicious person at the Manning residence. Sarah's blood ran cold. That's my house. Her ranch home was wrecked. Furniture smashed. Cabinets gutted. In the center of the kitchen table. An envelope, her name scrawled across it. Inside, a photo. Her mother, Linda Manning, in a hospital bed, holding a sign. "Stop or she dies." Below it, Pine Valley. Building C. Room 237. Come alone. Bring the Thornfield documents. 2 hours. They have my mom, Sarah whispered. Burke placed a hand on her shoulder. This could be a trap. "I'm going," she snapped. "Now." Pine Valley looked abandoned from the outside. Peeling brick, rusted gates. But inside it pulsed with life. Cold corridors, biometric locks, fluorescent lights buzzing. A balding man in a lab coat met her with a smug smile. "Dr. Phillips, I assume you brought the files." "Where's my mother?" Sarah barked. "Follow me." He led her down into the sublevels, sterile, humming, inhuman. At room 237, through a small window, Sarah saw Linda, alive, afraid. She handed Phillips the documents. He smiled. "Before you go, there's one more thing." In room 241 sat a man, early 30s. Dark hair, quiet eyes. He looked up at her. Subject M47. Phillips said, "Michael." Sarah froze. "Born February 15th, 1982, he continued. "The night your mother's baby died." Michael looked at Sarah, puzzled. She stepped closer. "Michael, do you know your last name?" He shook his head slowly. "Just Michael. I've always been here." Her voice broke. "Your mother is Linda Manning. She held you, sang to you." Michael blinked, like memories surfacing. "I remember lullabies." Phillips reached for the alarm. Michael moved faster, snatched his wrist, and shoved him back. "No more tests." Sarah's hidden recorder was rolling. "How many others?" she asked. Michael glanced toward the hallway. 26. In this building. Footsteps. Fast. Heavy. Guards. Michael said, "This way." He pulled open a supply door behind a cabinet. A narrow shaft lined with conduit. "I've mapped the whole compound," he said. "Years ago." They dragged Phillips with them. 43 kids died here, he spat. "You think that wasn't necessary?" Sarah's stomach twisted. You murdered them. No, he said. We studied them. They emerged into a dark kitchen. Michael pushed open a swinging door, revealing a cafeteria. 23 adults sat in silence. Gray uniforms. Blank faces. Like ghosts. Michael whispered, "It's dinner time." Sarah stepped forward. "Badge out. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help." A woman, F23, tilted her head. "Help us what?" Sarah held up a photo. Trees, sky, sunlight. "This is outside. You were stolen. You have names, families." A tear slid down the woman's cheek. Then rotors thundered above. Miller's voice crackled over the radio. "Feds inbound. 10 out." Sarah turned to the room. "Listen to me. The police are coming. You're not subjects. You're people. And you are free." Doors burst open. Tactical teams flooded in. Screams. Flashlights. Orders shouted. Michael crouched beside her. "What's my name?" Sarah gripped his hand. "David. David Michael Manning." 6 months later. In court, Dr. Phillips received life without parole. 3 facility administrators got 25 years. A state official, 15. Margaret Walsh and Dr. Thornfield's deaths were tied to conspiracy. The entire program collapsed. Of the 26 rescued, 18 found their families. Michael, David, moved in with Sarah and Linda. He learned to cook, to garden, to laugh. Each morning, he'd ask the same thing: "What are we doing today?" And for the first time in his life, he got to choose the answer. In 1982, St. Catherine swallowed 127 children and 18 staff, vanishing behind the official lie of a gas leak. 30 years later, Tyler Reed's crowbar cracked open a sealed room and unearthed a nightmare, a conspiracy that turned children into ghosts. Deputy Sarah Manning followed the trail, through forged death certificates, vanished infants, and murdered witnesses, until it led her to the unthinkable. Her own brother, David, stolen at birth and imprisoned in a lab for 3 decades. Her mother's lullabies had once filled that hospital. Now, they became a key to unlocking the truth. The cost was high. Margaret Walsh and Dr. Thornfield died for their part in the silence. But Sarah's hidden recorder captured enough to shatter the entire network. 26 victims were freed. They had names again, stories, families. Phillips is behind bars. So are 3 administrators and a state official. But some scars don't fade with a verdict. David's garden blooms now. Each flower a piece of freedom. Each seed a step toward healing. Sarah didn't just fight for her family. She fought for every child whose name was carved into that concrete wall, whispering, "Help us." Viewers, what secrets are buried in the places you pass every day? And what would you risk to give someone their name back?